welcome to episode 33. Pretty sure 32 or 33, because I'm off at my job and didn't post last episode on time, but that's going up tonight, so you're welcome. I guess you're welcome. Welcome to the HomeRow podcast. I am one of your hosts, Joe McAllister. I'm joined by the ever-lovely Doxy.
Hi.
And the ever-lovely Quiglin.
And hello.
You forgot to mention my vacuum.
Oh, yes.
And
the ever-lovely Hoover. Is it a Hoover or a Bissell? How many HPs
That is a Bissell.
Ooh.
It is a Bissell. It's actually a steam cleaner, and it's broken.
Oh, I have a Bissell steam cleaner. They're awesome, because my dog can't be trusted on the carpet.
Yo. What do you do if the liquid stops coming out of it? Like, it just won't come out.
That's a very poor way of phrasing any sentence ever. But we might have an episode title already.
Do we not have phrasing anymore?
I don't know. I would double check that it's seated correctly, because mine is
the
like
line...
the lift off. Yeah,
Definitely is seated correctly, and the entire line is clear. I don't know.
Oh,
weird.
That was my. All right, so that's the home improvement portion of the show.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Anyway.
It's brought to you this week by Bissell.
Bissell.
Bissell. If you need a new cleaner, you probably already have a Bissell because it's broken. This is our sort of E3 key recap show. We're going to go over just basically our thoughts. What got us super hyped, what wasn't so hypey, and then what was kind of the unanswered questions. And there will be a point, I'm sure, where Brian calls me an X-bot, and I have to defend my honor. It's coming. I'm ready. I have a freaking Harvard-class research paper over here with citations, notations. But let's just start. Let's start off with the general feeling. What did you guys think? How was the C3 for you? How was the news that came out of the last week and a half? How did it treat you? How did it make you feel?
I have to be honest and say that I didn't get to watch a whole lot of it. But
that's
stuff
our
that
show.
I have heard. No, stuff that I have heard, because I have heard a lot, is some of it's really exciting. I still don't think it was as good of a show as last year at all.
I would agree.
I disagree, but that's fine. I'm going to disagree with both of you. It's going to be 2-on-1 all day.
That's A-okay.
I'm sure.
A-okay.
Yeah. I mean, you're totally fine having the wrong opinion, Joe.
Throw my fucking headset.
I did catch up on Naked Norman Reedus, though, and boy, am I glad I did.
Right? Okay. Well, let's go right there, because my opinion, the correct one is this is the best E3 we've had in years. It was incredible from the big three perspective. But let's go right into Naked Norman Reedus having a baby and then whales on a beach, which I did not know Stranding actually is apparently, from what I think. Let me look up that meaning again. I'm pretty sure Stranding does mean like whales, beached whales. Stranding, whales. Cetacean stranding is a phenomenon in which cetaceans, whales, right? Sure. Strand themselves on land, usually on a beach. Beached whales often die due to, so it's beached whales. So, the title of the game is Death Beached Whales. What did you guys think of the trailer? The super weird, super artsy, super KOJIMA thing we saw. I don't even know if it's a trailer. It definitely wasn't gameplay. I don't even know if that's the game. That's where I'm kind of at with it. But it was cool.
Right. Yeah. It's. I don't know what to say. I'm intrigued. I'm excited to see what it becomes.
I think what it showed us was that Kojima is not burned out. Like, he has something cooking in there, that he has a vision for what that is. It may not even be what this is, it may have nothing to do with the baby and the beach and any of that, but it shows that there is a creative spark, that our faith in him, leaving Konami will be fulfilled. That at the end of the day, we will not say, wow, he should not have left Konami. I mean,
Right.
to me, that's exactly what this was.
What I saw some really cool eye-opening analysis, I guess, would be the best way to say it, of this trailer and this moment. First of all, it's probably like the moment where I was watching this and kind of, I've caught on to these streams that are basically just people talking over the conferences because they tend to, most of them, if they do it correctly, they pick the right moment to talk and the right moment to shut the hell up because there's cool stuff happening. But I think it's like, same thing if we did one, we would all be interested enough anyway. They stopped talking because Andrew House of Sony brings out Kojima, and it was the perfect entrance for that guy. At that time in the show, it was
like Magneto.
Yeah, just dim the lights, nothing but a white walkway comes down. He's the only other. It was Andrew House, Sean Layden, and Hideo Kojima, right? Those are the only 3 people that we saw on stage for Sony. Period. No Shuhei, no Adam Boyes. It was no Mark Cerny. It was 3 dudes, and Kojima was one of them. It was a moment to behold, that's for sure. But the analysis that I saw of that trailer and kind of some thoughts are that it was basically Kojima's story in no certain terms, right? He had his story with Konami, right? He's got a baby. It's Metal Gear Solid, and it is ripped out of him. He's got a C-section. It's weird. It's pretty overt when you think about it, but he has this baby that gets ripped from him. He's got hands all over him. Everybody wants a piece, or everybody tried to get a piece of what he was working on. I don't know what the whales signify. Really don't get it. I don't know what the 5 people in the...
Well, the 5 people are probably the board members.
Probably some sort of executives or suits.
Suits at Konami. If we're going with that interpretation.
Yeah, so I thought it was pretty cool. It will be interesting to see if this is completely unrelated to anything he's actually working on. Just this is a neat thing, and all it is I think the best line of the whole thing is definitely, "I'm back."
Yeah.
The funny part is if you really take that interpretation of that video, basically it was him doing this. He's like, and this, and this. I just wanted to say those 2 things.
If anybody has everybody on his side, it's Hideo Kojima. I don't think there's anybody being like, "Well, Konami had a good point." No.
Well, I mean, didn't we say this last week? Konami had all the opportunities in the world, and they just botched all of them. Or maybe I said that in a different podcast, but that's how I feel. It was like they had Castlevania, they had, Hideo Kojima, they had, a few other games, and they had all the opportunities in the world to cash in on those and do right by the fans. And they just said, ooh, pachinko games, though, right?
Yeah.
Am I right? Pachinko? Right?
I can't believe that that's a bigger money maker than video game. I can't believe that.
I can't believe it when you've got games like GTA. Metal Gear made a fair amount of money, but compared to how much it cost, I don't know what those financials look like. But you look at a game like GTA, which costs a shitload of money, but then also has made easily over $1 billion. Call of Duty can hit $1 billion almost every year. Not lately, but still, you were talking a franchise that's a couple hundred million every single year. I get that it is a tough industry, but they're already in the position. They've done all the hard work, right? They're not an indie studio scrapping with the little guys out there. They have they have Metal Gear, they have Armored Core, they have Castlevania. They've done nothing with a lot of things, and now Igarashi goes off and makes Bloodstained and instantly has people interested.
Yeah.
Fuckers. God. I don't like Konami, man. I don't think anybody does right now. How can you?
Made some very poor decisions of late.
Yeah, they burned all their goodwill. Just all of it.
Yep. So that's Death Stranding. Still no release date, no nothing. Do we want to just go stick with Sony?
Sure.
Okay. I'm sorry, Brian,
So,
you were going to say.
Oh, no, I was going to say, since we're sticking with Sony, I felt like Sony this year was fulfilling the promise of last year. So last year was about this pie-in-the-sky stuff, here's a Final Fantasy VII remake, here's, Shenmue 3, all this...
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, all this super way in the future
the Last
stuff.
Guardian.
Yeah. And then this year was, okay, now we're going to fulfill all that stuff with some awesome games. We're not even going to bother staying on stage for that. We're just going to throw awesome games at you from now on for the rest of the show. And they did that. Are you going to disagree with me, Joe?
No, I really like the pace.
Because God of War looked Amazing.
God of War looks
And
fantastic.
I don't even.
Yo.
I've never played a God of War game.
That
and it
God of
looked
War
amazing.
trailer kind of turned me off. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's fucking God of War. It's not Tomb Raider. You're supposed to have fixed camera angles and be fighting fucking mythical creatures. Like, there shouldn't be a little boy in that. Like, this forcing Kratos into this loving father role really upsets me. Like, it was nice to have in the third one. I want to say there's this, maybe the third one. There's this part where he has to like look out for Pandora for a while, and like it rehumanizes Kratos for a bit, and it was nice to have that, but fucking forcing a whole game out of that is he already had a family. That family was fucking taken away from him, and he's fucking pissed, and he's gonna kill gods because of it. You know what I mean? This isn't Tomb Raider. This is God. I don't know. There wasn't even chain blades.
I think so. Shit, I can't talk about something. Whew, good, glad I caught that. But what I did notice, so I've watched that trailer I think 3 times now. The very last, don't mind Brody and Max, they get a little rowdy. The very last line of that trailer is a new beginning, like fucking right in the face, literal. It's not your papa's God of War. I don't know why I went Brooklyn. Not your fucking.
What?
I don't know. I'm very, very tired and now drinking coffee. So, the last line of that trailer is a new beginning, which I think this is definitely. I'm supremely interested in this. I am way more interested in this than if they did a new God of War that was, even if they put in the Nordic setting and was still the same type of game, like, fucking brutal, bro. I don't want that. I think that this is. I think this is a way better direction for that series.
I feel like they should have put it on a new IP. They should have made that game with a new IP. Like, that should not have been a God of War game. But it just shouldn't have. Like, when I expect God of War, I expect something in particular. And it's not what I saw.
I think it's going to be
so
divisive.
blown away by those graphics.
Yeah, it looked great. Like, don't get me wrong.
Like, the fight, like, just the way the light was bouncing off of everything, that was like, mine just kind of went.
And don't get me wrong, the game looked fun. Like, it looked fun. It just didn't look like fucking God of War to me, and it makes me a little bit upset that there weren't even fucking chain blades.
I'm really surprised you didn't like it this much, because I got a Dark Souls vibe off that combat with the troll. Like, it looks like much more slow, deliberate. It's not God of War combat.
Certainly not God of War combat. It's not. You're not gonna be able to button mash your way through that game. That's for sure. But like,
I just noticed small things like there's a foot stomp move where he holds his foot up for a little bit long, like it kind of hangs there for a minute, and it looks like I like the vulnerability of Kratos in this. It's not like I think
But that's not who Kratos is.
But I don't want to play. I don't want to just play a power fantasy of Kratos anymore. Like, that was cool 5, 6, 7 years ago, I think.
Okay, and that's fine, but then don't play God of War. Like, in my opinion, that's what God of War is this fucking super macho dude who is really fucking mad about his murdered ass family, and now he's gonna go show the gods what's up, like, with some chain blades.
Really on those chain blades. What are you gonna do if there are chain blades? And then you're like, well, no, he's still gonna be mad.
I will tweet a public apology to our listeners.
Dearest Sony Santa Monica, I hope this letter finds you well.
It's probably just going to say, welp, I'm sorry, # chain blades, or something like that.
I could dig that one. I could dig that. All right. So, no, okay.
Anyway, yeah, the game looked superb. Just.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I like it seems like they're going the route of, I got real heavy like Rise of the Tomb Raider vibes, because there was
very much
new area discovered, new skill learned, tracking and archery, and I also heard a nice theory on that one, which was that that's the tutorial and you are the kid, because the section where he shoots the elk, you're actually controlling the kid with the bow,
right?
And then you see archery +15 or something like that, which could be think about it. Your fantasy might still be fulfilled because if Kratos is the dad and gets killed early on, this kid's gonna be not psyched. And then you've got angry Viking Kratos' son to avenge his father and rip Loki's head off or something.
All right, I could get into that.
Right? I really want to see what they do. I hope they go towards the gods and not just like, there's a troll, and then there's a frost troll, then this one's an earth troll, and then they're just the creatures isn't enough. That character design was pretty
troll.
Yeah, but this is a golem. They're different. Okay. But Brian, to go back to the pace of the Sony conference, I think was fantastic. Like they definitely got the message from the past 2 years. They've gotten a lot better about this in the past two shows in particular. Of like, you fuckers want games, you're gonna get games. And that's all you're gonna get. No, pedal to the metal. We will not slow down until we drop the mic at the end. I think my biggest problem was I still feel like it was pie in the sky stuff because a lot of it didn't have dates. Like Crash Bandicoot, cool. Crash is getting remastered. Fine, yeah, I'll play it.
Yeah,
but you gotta play it in
Okay,
Skylanders
I have
first.
to be the bad guy here. Does anyone really want that? Like, does anyone actually give a shit? Because I don't.
I think that's the point. I think people wanted... I would rather have a new Crash game that kind of does something different with the formula, but I still don't think of, like... I think Crash is funny. Like, if they could do with Crash what they did with Wolfenstein and make him, like, super self-aware and a character that doesn't fit in 2016, cool. But now they're just doing remasters, and we don't know when the date on those is. But if you want your Crash now, go buy Skylanders.
Okay, so no. Okay, so I think that remasters of those like second gen or whatever games they're gonna be fucking huge right now because the video game like the video game industry is growing with us, right? You know, like some of us are growing up with video games, and like this nostalgia button, this is the perfect time for it because the tech is finally advanced enough that remakes are making sense. That having HD remakes or remasters or like altogether rewrites or whatever, it makes sense. And I know that this kind of flies in the face of the thing that I just said about God.
At least you got the awareness. That's the important thing.
but it's perfect. It's perfect. Like now you can do things like bring Mario into 3D and I know we did that with N64, but like now we can do it and it doesn't look like a puddle of mud. And like there are just new things that you can do that you couldn't do before that they maybe had the vision to do back then when it just wasn't even possible yet. You know what I mean? So I'm excited and I'm really glad that Crash Bandicoot is getting an old spit shine.
Or they're going to George Lucas the shit out of it.
That would be really sad.
Did either of you play Uncharted 4?
Not yet.
Not yet.
There's a
I want
section.
to have.
There's a cheesy section. I'll spoil. It's not a spoiler, but there's a cheesy section where you play a part of Crash Bandicoot in like emulated on the thing. It's very early on, so I'm not spoiling much, and it doesn't have any bearing on the story. But I remember playing it, and it's funny that it comes up at this time because I played it, and it's like, oh god, this does not hold up. I remember my PSX. This was the best thing ever, spinning and getting fruit and the little mask and all that stuff, and I was playing it like, ugh. Get me back to Nathan Drake. Get me out. Get me out of here. But
they had Resident Evil 7, which has a date. They had Horizon Zero Dawn, which has a date.
What is the date for Horizon Zero Dawn?
Yeah, what's the
I'm
date?
so excited.
February 28th.
I am so excited.
I didn't see the date.
Yeah, February 28th for Horizon. Yeah, February is going to be massive. Like Persona 5, For Honor are both on Valentine's Day, and Horizon Zero Dawn is on the 28th of February.
I didn't see a Resident Evil 7 date.
Yeah, it's 1/17, I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
That is extremely fast because they put up that demo and then said that's not the game.
1/24. Sorry, my bad. January 24th.
Wait, so the demo isn't actual gameplay, like from the game?
No.
No.
Put up a demo.
The demo was kind of like a proof of concept, so they could do the first person so it can be done in VR and not VR. Is there a name for not VR? Yeah. And I played the demo, and it is creepy as fuck.
It's very PT-ish.
Yeah.
It is
I actually
PT.
then watched
convoluted as PT.
I didn't get a chance to play it, but even just watching the demo, it's like, I see what you did here.
Like, so I did not have to stand in a corner over some photos and zoom in and zoom out and zoom in and zoom out like I did it with PT. I just found things and unlocked stuff, and then then it ends, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna do this other cool thing that I just learned I could do, and then it ends. So it's creepy and there's like stuff in there I didn't even know about, like ghosts show up, and it as soon as I watched a YouTube video afterwards with like where the ghosts were, and I was like, oh, fuck no.
Ghosts in Resident Evil.
I don't know if I want that to be my Resident Evil, though.
Yeah.
Even if it were a reboot.
Sounds like they're gotta warn it up.
It sounds like it literally is just taking Allison Road and PT and like, oh, you kids like ghosts, right? Here's some fucking ghosts. But we're going to call it Biohazard.
There was a lot of tension, though. Like, it wasn't so much the ghosts, it was a lot of tension. Like, just... I didn't have any weapons at the time, although there will be weapons clearly in the game. I didn't have any weapons, so it was kind of like I was walking, and I'm like, okay, that's fucking creepy, and that's fucking creepy. Did that mannequin move? That mannequin fucking moved. Like, I mean, there was a lot of... Yeah.
I can get down with that on a different game, though. I just think I don't like where Resident Evil is now, but I like the ideas behind it. Like the whole T-virus and the backstabbing and the lore behind it is kind of cool. I'd ditch the movies and make a new one that focuses on like the mansion and the cool stuff that actually happened early in the series, and I'm all in.
So that's the thing is they are clear. Like, it's been clear from Capcom that you are in a rural area and you will be going to a mansion, like a large, like a plantation house type thing. So, like I said, this was just a proof of concept. I have no idea what the real game's going to be like. I'm interested to see what they can do, because I don't want an action game. I want a horror game.
Fair.
Yeah. I think they get that, because Resident Evil 6 did not do well from what I've seen and heard, and it was not.
And I heard that it was actually a good game too.
Yeah, it was not a terrible game. Like, it's always this caveat. It's like, if this game wasn't Resident Evil,
yeah, I've heard that.
It would have been a great co-op game, because I played it with my brother and we had a great time, except for the fact that it's not a survival horror game.
Yeah. That's interesting. See, I didn't see watching those shows twice. I didn't see Resident Evil or Horizon's release date, but now it's out. I don't know if they came out after the show and said it or what. But that's part of the problem I had. Maybe I need to reevaluate my stance. But that's the problem I had, was like, Horizon. It looks awesome. It will be one of my games of the year when it comes out, if it lives up to what it demoed as. But I don't know if it's a 2018 title at this point. Like, it could be, like, to your point, Brian. Like, we didn't see a lot of things that Sony talked about last year. We didn't see... I know that... what's the fucking Kickstarter debacle? You just said it.
Shenmue?
Shenmue?
Nothing on Shenmue. Nothing on Final Fantasy VII. Nothing on Kingdom Hearts. 3 big games that they were like, guys, look!
Yeah,
and this year they're like, shut the fuck up.
Remember us being like... Sony won the conference, and those 3 titles had a whole fucking lot to do with it.
Those were tentpoles. Those were definitely tentpoles, and for them to be absolutely missing for me is like, it starts to raise eyebrows. Like, okay, what from this show might be that next year? And I personally think it might be Days Gone. This game did not interest me.
Oh my
at all.
God. That looks so good.
It did
okay,
nothing
tell me about
for
it.
me.
I have no idea.
What I liked about Days Gone is, okay, yes, it kind of has that post-apocalyptic zombie game like theme, but I think that there is a possibility, and the problem is they didn't show a lot of the story.
The demo sucked.
Yeah, like I
Sorry,
think
Brian.
I didn't play a demo.
The demo they played on stage.
Oh,
very
yeah.
bad.
Yeah, I thought you meant like there was a demo. I'm like, I didn't play it.
No,
Did I
sorry.
miss this? No. Okay. I thought that they could really delve into the story about a man who kind of had this, identity that he previously had. He was a biker. He was, a lover. He was all these things, and now he's none of those things, and now he's on his own. So everybody he loved is dead. He's now scraping by. He could be a completely different person. They could delve into that, and then I love that mechanic of the walker, or what do they call the freaks, just coming. And I mean, like we're talking about a horde coming to the point where he blows up. Like they're coming across a small like wooden bridge in a like an attic or like in scaffolding. He blows up the bridge, and the freaks just start using each other to clamber up to get to him. Like. Ooh. It is, and I mean, they're just coming and coming and coming and coming, and he's just like,
racing.
Yeah, he's like throwing a thing, putting them, and he's just mowing them down, but they're still coming. And I mean, like, that is intriguing if they can match up a really solid story about a man who is on his own and this fantastic play mechanic that could, it could be a fascinating mechanic of these hordes that don't stop. Like, if they could marry those two ideas together, it would be fabulous. The problem is that is not really what they showed on stage. It kind of was a mishmash of I'm not really sure what it was.
Here's my problem. Is it looked like they were up there just saying, look how cool our flowing zombie technology is, and it's very fucking cool. Like, it's really awesome to see. You should definitely check out the trailer, because watching those zombies like spill over, I think it's like a bridge or through a rail car or something like that. Like, it looks sick. It looks like, I can't think of names today. The fucking Brad Pitt.
Oh, World War Z?
World War Z. It has that feeling of, like, zombies they look like freaking people water. Like, just running. And it's crazy. But it's also, if they're going to make the odds overwhelming, I didn't get the fear, because the guy just turns around and starts blasting them with an AR-15 or whatever. And to me, a more interesting demo would be show off the danger of that situation, like having him run away, looking over his back, the player controlling some of that stuff. And it was interesting listening to you, Brian, because it was like thinking of a zombie apocalypse. Like, it sounds like everybody's story, right? That they should have spent more time on that, because everybody's story is, I used to be something, now I'm not. I have nothing. Now I have, all I have is my motorcycle. All I have is my Jeep. All I have is this one person I found in a well or something like that. Like, there just wasn't anything really interesting to it for me. Like, it looked like they took The Last of Us. They came up with this neat idea for a technology for zombies to chase you. But I really do want to see how it pans out with the whole gist is you're a mercenary. People stay in their little camps, and you go out and do things for them. So you drop by a settlement, you're like, hey, what do you guys need? Kind of like Witcher contracts. What do you want? We need you to go up here and get water, or we got to go get these car batteries or something. They could do some really interesting things there, but if at the other end of that spectrum, it could all become fetch quests, and like there's just a lot of landmines they are going to have to dance around. That I just thought the demo was not indicative of what we're going to see. No release date again, just like a look at this cool thing.
In the game's defense, it did not demo nearly as badly as Final Fantasy 15 did on the Microsoft stage.
Fucking awful. That was so bad.
That was...
I have to know.
How bad it was?
Yeah.
It's like a 35-minute boss fight.
Imagine a 15 car pileup on the expressway that got hit by a train.
Yeah, it was definitely...
Give me details.
It was just...
So...
If you're going to go to a 2-hour press conference, an hour-and-a-half press conference, you probably shouldn't take a 10 to 15-minute boss fight as your check this out moment. Like,
there was so that part in when you're like going through and that you have to kind of live through a section of a boss fight where he's going to be not invincible, but you're like, okay, I have to dodge the attack, hit him in the weak spot. Okay, here he comes again. Dodge the attack. That was it.
It was
he got run over by the arm. He tried to hit the arm. He did a terrible warp attack, and then he got run over by the arm again. And then he ran and waited for someone to come heal him. And then he got hit by the arm again. And then he was almost dead again. And then he hit him for like 1,000 damage.
They are just not doing a good job of marketing that game. Like, that demo didn't get very great reception, and that...
It was rough.
Like, you don't...
Yeah, when you said that it was a 15-minute boss fight, as somebody who is crazy about the Souls series, I was like, ain't nothing fucking wrong with that. Yeah, lay it on me, but...
It was not. It was not a Souls-esque. It did not evoke...
A Final Fantasy boss is not a Souls boss, yeah.
Yeah, I actually don't even think I watched the entire thing. Like, I found something else to do because I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, come on, guys. It just... You gotta wonder if Phil was backstage, like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. This is
like, no. Like, all
right, we gotta pep these guys up somehow.
Like, yeah, it was, it was rough. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take us back to Microsoft. I was just saying, Days Gone, a lot of potential, also a lot of possibility of being horrible.
Yeah, and I don't mean to piss in your Cheerios, but I just didn't see a lot that was impressive beyond that tech demo part of it. Like, that tech is super cool.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I mean, it could either be The Last of Us or it could be the Order.
That leads me to question, Joe, do you think that a game has to have a great story, or, like, not necessarily just a great... Do you really believe that a game needs more than awesome tech every time in order to be a good game?
Yeah. I can't, like, I for me, I don't lean on a game just for having something really neat in it. Like, for instance, Assassin's Creed, the first Assassin's Creed had a lot of interesting tech in it, but it wasn't, on the whole, it wasn't a great game. Looked pretty good. Like, it was a proof of concept for what Assassin's Creed 2 became, which was a good game with a decent story that was at least, you know, coherent.
Also, you shut your hole. Assassin's Creed is a great game.
Assassin's Creed is fine. I actually wish they would go back to that time period. Like, that was super interesting, what they could do now. Anyway, I think that a game has to have, like, just incredible gameplay, a very good story, or some sort of tech that is really cool. And if it has any interplay of all three of those, they're in a pretty good spot. Even if it's all mediocre, it can still be a decent game.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, Dragon's Dogma is a really good example. I really like that game.
That's so good.
But I wouldn't say that it does anything the best I've ever seen it. Like, it does some really cool stuff in a lot of different... Does. Like, it is a very, very good game. And I like it quite a bit. But it doesn't have, like, the most driving story that I have to get every little beat out of. It doesn't also have the best tech I've ever seen. It's not the prettiest game I've ever seen. But all those things working, like, in concert make it a really good game that I'm like, I can forget about, like, some muddy textures or...
You know, that game was pretty.
Oh, I think I'm with Joe on this one. It had some pretty... Like, some of the textures were just...
Yeah, it wasn't ugly by any means.
I'll have to revisit. I remember liking the way it looked a lot.
Of course, now let me remind you that I'm not playing the PC version. When I played it, it was on the Xbox 360, and it wasn't the Dark Arisen part. It was just the original game on the Xbox 360.
Fair.
And
I played on PC, and I still thought that there were some things that, like, if you look too close, I've brought it up before, but if you look too close at anything, you'll find the cracks, like The Division.
Sure.
Like, I can see the cracks, but I like the core game. And once I got to the end game, I was fucking done. But that's the thing, is usually those games are good enough that you just look right past it. Like, you're like, it's one of those things you skip right past as you, like, whatever. I like you. You're fun. You know? Like, you give me joy. I'm interested to see what you both are thinking this year, our 12-month follow-up on The Last Guardian.
What? So other than having a second Trico in the picture, what did they show? Like,
I didn't see it. So
I still don't know what the game's about.
So this got me. I don't know if I'm gonna get this game right away. I have never been a Team Ico fan. I kind of want to go play Shadow of the Colossus because I hear it's just like transcendent, like incredible game. But this demo, Brad, I'm excited because we agree. I was just like, okay.
From what I understand, my hypothesis is that you're friends with the Colossus. The one that didn't get killed in Shadow of Colossus.
Oh.
That would be interesting. But then again, if I haven't played Shadow of the Colossus, they have to make me care about that in some way, right?
Yeah.
If I don't give a shit about a bird dog. I do like the bird dog already, though. That's a cool character.
I was gonna say, it's a pretty cool bird dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that bird dog is gonna be dead by the end.
Yep, and
you're gonna cry.
A video game will make me cry.
It's gonna be very feelsy. Yeah, definitely.
But
Definitely.
I think the biggest thing of it is we do have a release date of October 6th. So we got a date.
Of this year?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hype.
Yeah, way sooner than I thought. I did
Wait,
hear...
I see October 25th. I'm looking on the game stop. No? Well, October. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay, cool. We're good. I mean, that's good. Good. That game will finally come out. I did hear some unfortunate reports that game is looking a little rough on the floor, but we won't let that affect us. They've got time. Hopefully they're just in the polish phase where it's like, oh, pretty up this texture, make it run better. Beep, blop, bloop, that's how you make a game.
Sounds about right.
You have to adjust the sliders.
That's right.
So that you get more tech bubbles and design bubbles.
More pixel clarity. Is that a thing?
I was referencing Game Dev Tycoon.
Oh.
Personally.
Haven't played that in a very long time. Horizon Zero Dawn. We can probably move on pretty quick because this is fucking awesome. It's so cool.
Okay, what new did they show? Did they show anything new?
There's a dialogue tree.
Oh yeah, and you can ride the you can tame and ride the monster or the machine.
Shut the front door, really?
Yeah, it was pretty legit. You should definitely watch that demo.
I will. Well, I don't even need to write that down. I wrote down Days Gone because I want to look at that, but
yeah.
Yep.
There's a I'm almost at the point with Horizon Zero Dawn where I don't want to watch anything else because I'm like, all right, just wash over me come February. Come get me.
Definitely.
I don't need anything else. I'm ready.
So, what do you guys think of Quantic Dream, Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls?
Oh, you mean Detroit Become Human?
Yeah. How'd that look? Right.
All right, so I'm going to admit that I actually like David Cage's games, or whatever we're supposed to call him now. Apparently, we're mispronouncing his last name or whatever. Yeah,
He's French.
I like them. I like them.
Okay, what's it called?
Detroit Becoming Human.
Become Human.
Become Human. I'm sorry.
Yes. So here's what I like. I like the idea that it is further exploring the concept of identity. You know, both human identity and artificial identity. I like the idea that you're going to play this. There are going to be consequences to your actions. I realize that is not for everyone, but it is definitely something that I want to experience. There was a point in Heavy Rain where you find out who the bad guy is, and I actually sat there and you have to do stuff to help the bad guy, and I'm like sitting there like, well, fuck. I'm pissed now that I have to help the bad guy, and I don't get a choice in that.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that Detroit Become Human works through some of that so that I can experience it how I want to experience it in the way that I experience it. And that I will have a completely different, story narrative that I'm going to drive. That Doxy will have a different one, and Joe, you'll have a different one, and that intrigues me.
I think I agree with you, but at the same time I don't want to put down this whole you have to help the bad guy thing, because I love the idea of humanizing villains, and
Sure.
I know that sounds so fucked up, but I just do. I like the idea that you have to I don't know. I like to call it the Game of Thrones effect, because I officially love Cersei now. You know what I mean? I never wanted that to fucking happen, I just do. I love her. I care about her. And it's because she got so humanized, and I like the idea of this whole, you have to help the bad guy.
Well,
or else you can't go further. I kind of like that. But at the same time, I like control over what happens in a video game too.
Yeah. So for me, Docs, it was you get to choose what happens for this, and you get to you get to do this, and you can choose this, and you can do this, and this, and this, and this, and then now you have to do what we tell you to do. And it was like, well,
they removed the choice.
You were letting me have choices, and now you're making me do this other thing, and I'm like, all right, well, that's not as fun as I would have liked, but
yeah,
but I understand what you're saying.
I do have to say, first of all, that Magneto is the best villain ever because he's human.
Totally.
That's what makes him the best villain ever.
Yeah.
I think the game looks really interesting, especially if it really leans hard into like bringing 1950s sci-fi into 2016, and then also uses Until Dawn style, like if then pick your poison, oh shit, you're all dead, like move on type thing. What I want to see more, because it looked, the way that they showed it off was smart, but at the same time I want to see more. Maybe that's why it was smart, because they basically showed like you could do this, but then you get shot, or if you fail to do this, then the girl gets shot, but if you do this, then they shoot this helicopter. Like there's a million branching paths, a lot like the butterfly in Until Dawn. So I hope it's like that. I really do, because I wish more games would use that stuff. But
definitely.
My one hope I have for the game is that they dive deep into like the LA noir, like facial feature stuff, and I'm hoping they take that concept that they showed at the PS whatever it was when they showed off the PS4 and they had that weird old man face thing, that tech demo.
Yeah.
If they can use that to really do some serious work on like facial recognition and like little crinkles in the eyes and all that, that would be mind blowing.
Mm-hmm. We're pretty close. There's some games that do it pretty well, so I think that if they can just push it that much further, where you can like, I don't trust this guy. He he can't make eye contact with my character.
Did his mouth just crease when he said that? Well, now I don't know if I trust him.
Oh man, if there was that moment like in iRobot where the robot winks at Will Smith, I can totally get down on that. So then we kind of segue into the PSVR section, which actually looked pretty damn good. My biggest fear for this, there were like vignettes, like there's a Star Wars X-Wing thing, fucking awesome. Yep. There's a Batman Arkham VR thing, which I've heard really good things about. There's a game called Farpoint,
which I've heard good things about also.
Yeah, Final Fantasy was there.
Which was supposed to be terrible.
I heard that was just dog shit. I don't.
That is not a VR.
I thought
that's my dog.
I thought that was mine. I was like, Max,
sorry, he's having a nightmare.
Hi, buddy. Aw.
Elvis.
So,
Joe.
Yeah. Go ahead, Brian.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, for me, this actually made me go. I kind of wish I had pre-ordered a PlayStation VR.
I know.
Dang.
I actually.
Do you not anymore?
No, I didn't. I didn't end up pre-ordering it because baby on the way, and we're moving, and we have a lot of expenses coming up, and one cannot be $400 VR thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe for Christmas. Who knows?
It got me thinking, if any VR set, this is the VR headset, because they also said something about 50 titles between the October 13th, my birthday, so start pooling your funds. 50 games between the October 13th launch date and the end of the year.
So, see, Joe, now you used two words there. I think it might be the first one. It might be 50 titles.
Yeah, I think it's 50 experiences. That's what I'm thinking, because like Batman VR, I'm like, I don't want to get
supposed to be like an hour or so.
Yeah, I don't like. Can you imagine? No, I'm sorry.
Is it just you're walking around Arkham Asylum or what?
So they actually had some post E3 or post press conference coverage that I kind of followed along with. Are you okay, bud?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing, weirdo?
He's Batman.
He's like sniffing just my forearm, like my wrist. But it was like detective mode and like walking around Wayne Manor talking with Alfred or something like that. But the thing that was concerning was that a lot of people were complaining of the movement not being one-to-one. So if you threw a Batarang, no matter how hard you whip the controller, it still threw at the same speed. And that's an experience killer to me. Like if I'm playing...
Yeah, that is going to pull you right out of immersion.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing when I, bowl the shit out of that Wii U or that Wii bowling ball, right? I want to see it just blaze down that trail. Call of Duty in VR, actually. I think this was in VR, but it looked kind of cool. There was like a space dogfight that looked all right.
Dude, Call of Duty was made for VR.
I think every single year I'm like, I try not to get too excited because I feel like it's always going to be a letdown. But with Advanced Warfare, I was like, yeah, they're getting on the right track. Black Ops 3 I didn't touch, but I feel like Infinite Warfare is getting a bad name right away because they're going into the future thing. And I probably have done it myself, but now after seeing a little bit of it and the fact that Battlefield is getting away from that, I think there's that niche that they can fill alongside, and we'll get to Titanfall 2. But I think it could be a very good game. It just depends how they pull it off, right?
Right.
Well, I can say that about every game here. That wasn't a very good point, Joe. Hi, Max. I love you too. Next up was Crash. We already touched on that. Then Lego Star Wars. I will always buy Lego Star Wars. Sorry. Yep.
Lego games, good. Star Wars, good. Lego Star Wars, great.
Lego games are on sale in the Steam sale right now. The only one not on sale, the Star Wars Complete Collection.
Obviously.
I have it on my Xbox 360.
Maybe at the end of the week, though.
Yeah, that's what it's in the wish list. Yeah. Next up was Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Did you know you
I
wanted?
heard good things.
Did you know you wanted Insomniac to make a Spider-Man game? Because you wanted
did not,
Insomniac to make a fucking Spider game.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, not Spider game. I'll play anything Insomniac makes. They're a freaking good developer, and for them to be on something like Spider-Man after playing Sunset Overdrive, if they can make that work, you got my money.
My first IP by them was Spyro.
Classic.
So yeah, they set themselves up nice and have not let me down. So
yeah,
that's a game that needs an overhaul for me. 100% Spyro. I want Spyro remakes so bad.
I want Jet Moto.
All right.
Vigilante 8, the old PSX games.
But yes, I did not know I wanted one, but I do now.
Yeah. I think it looks really good. I don't even like Spider-Man a lot because I think to me Spider-Man is like this really jokey, immature, just never takes it seriously type hero. But Insomniac can do they can pull that, they can write that character and they can do.
Did
the
you love
traversal
Deadpool
really well.
though?
I loved it. Yeah.
Deadpool is.
But Deadpool's rated R, where
jokey,
Spider-Man is like
not
PG.
Taking it seriously.
Spider-Man to me is like the PG like.
I'm just saying Spider-Man did it first.
Deadpool did it better.
Deadpool did do it better. I'm not gonna lie. I have a soft spot in my heart for Spider-Man, despite all those terrible fucking movies. I love Spider-Man.
That's probably why I don't like Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire.
Probably.
You fucking spoiled it. Look at Spider-Man 3.
Kirsten
Really?
Dunst is the worst actress this world has ever known.
She's pretty bad.
Ooh, okay, I don't
I
know.
hate her.
I mean, Kristen Stewart is pretty terrible.
She's pretty bad too.
Bro, at least they just make her act herself, right? Like just kind of like a vacant girl. At least there's something that she can act. Kirsten Dunst was an amazing child actress. She was so good, and now she's
not.
Kirsten Dunst. Sorry, Kirsten Dunst, if you're one of our listeners, I don't like you.
That would be a good get, though. Be a good
That would be a
audience
good
member.
get.
Yeah, Kirsten Dunst, if you are watching, we
You
would
can
love to have
redeem
you.
yourself.
I've got a template.
Yeah,
Your face will go right
you are-
over here.
Yeah,
Join
you'll
us.
totally have you on the show.
Next up, actually, Days Gone made a second appearance. This was the gameplay demo, so I kind of combined the two when we were talking about it. But and actually, I think there was more after this, but I may have just stopped taking notes or had something else to do. So
I thought that was kind of the end of the press conference, though.
the bookend.
It was not long.
No, it was. I think it clocked in, if I remember hearing today, at like an hour and 15, which is good. I do think I like their conference a lot, but like I said, I think I come back to Sony was games, and I still don't like the PlayStation Network. I still don't like their phone app doesn't work. Like there just wasn't talk about the infrastructure, and I still worry about things with PlayStation that I don't concern myself with my PC or my Xbox.
I kind of love PSN.
You love PSN?
A little bit, yeah.
I think it's fine, but I think that taking it down once a month for maintenance is really bad. I think that
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I think that there's just even in like the phone app trying to navigate the store on my computer trying to
Yeah,
the phone
I've
app
never
is
done
awful.
that.
The phone app is terrible.
I've never even used the phone app.
The website's really bad as well. Trying to buy the PlayStation Plus games via a browser, you have to go out to the Sony Entertainment Network, and
Yes.
like just the whole like the user experience for the basic stuff. Matchmaking is fine. Like messaging is okay. I just don't. It's not as intuitive. Neither of them are good. Trust me, Xbox has its problems, but I think I like that Xbox talks about it. That Microsoft talks like, here's what we're doing to make a few things better, and we'll get to those. But PlayStation was just like games. Later.
Yeah, Xbox has definitely always been a more streamlined user experience as far as UI goes.
Okay, Joe. Last year, Microsoft was games, and you were like, "It's the best press conference ever."
I didn't say that. I said it was better than Sony's.
I'm just saying, Sony did what Microsoft did last year, and I don't think there's a problem with that.
I don't think so either, but Microsoft still had time to talk about what the current state of it.
Yes, they talked about bringing back things that was on the Xbox 360, but not on the Xbox One when it launched.
They talked about backwards compatibility, which is still a charged feature on PlayStation Network.
No, I'm talking about they're like looking for group and all these other like little social features that were already on the Xbox 360 but not on the Xbox One.
Yeah, but they're increasing that user experience. They're making that better.
Speaking of user experience, I'm going to interrupt us. I am on the preview build for the Xbox One experience, and they've changed the Xbox commands to Cortana, and she is a giant pile of shit. I fucking hate this crap. I mean, let's put it this way. My wife is pissed. She's like, she doesn't listen to me. She never responds to my commands. Oh my God, I fucking hate this.
It's getting you ready for fatherhood.
Oh my! If I could turn it back, I would, because fuck Cortana.
I thought we were still talking about fucking fatherhood for a second. I was like, whoa, that's a little bit of a heavy thing to say on our podcast.
No, we'll be editing this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's all go to the
like
snack
that.
bar.
No, nothing about fatherhood. Cortana. If I could undo that and go back to the old Xbox commands, and I would do it in a heartbeat. It's not working. Like,
So
I mean,
I'm so sorry that it makes me happy, but it makes me a little bit happy only because I hated Cortana in Halo so much. Is that awful? That's awful. I'm a bad person.
No, it's totally fine. It's just like you say a command, you're like, "Hey Cortana, can you blah blah blah?" And then and then she goes, "Huh, I'm trying to warm up," and then just stops, and that's it. And you're like, "Oh, okay. Well, I guess we're not going to do what I want." So angry.
Clearly, Jesus.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Joe. Tell me about how great Microsoft was.
I just like that Microsoft was forward thinking. Like, they came out of the gate and they acknowledged that the Xbox One S is a thing, and that it's 40% smaller and all that, which needed to fucking happen. This monster. Like, I don't know if you guys remember VHS players from the 70s. Yeah. That's the size of this thing on my shelf. But they acknowledged it. I think the biggest thing that they started talking about. Oh wait, this is my summary at the top. Let me shuffle my notes. 40% smaller. The power bricks included, like in the hardware itself, just like the PlayStation. Finally, it's also starting at $299, so this makes it the cheapest 4K Blu-ray player on the market, which is a big get for them. Like, as a larger, like, I don't give a shit about video games, but I want to have the best movies possible. That's pretty interesting because that'll get it in more homes. And this is kind of what happened with Blu-ray back in the day and HD DVD. Still have my HD DVD player from my Xbox 360. Might fire it up, watch King Kong. I don't know.
My friend Mark does too. Hilarious.
Will you fire it up, Joe?
No. It is going to be used for probably an assault or something. Like, that's the only thing it is good for. It's a brick. It also has HDR, and I don't love the fact that they are like trying to pimp this feature as like, you want HDR. Like, it's fine. Like, it's good. It's a good feature, but you don't need to talk about it. You don't need to tell gamers about it because it doesn't. Yeah. A lot of us don't care. We just want things to look better, and HDR helps accomplish that. by making
Sure.
brights brighter and darks darker, but I don't want it in a press conference. I don't care.
Yeah, I was gonna say, okay. I want to know about it, just not during a press conference.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a press release bullet point.
We'll take this offline and we'll
Yeah.
let you know about it. We'll send you an email.
I just thought it was a good. My initial reaction was, "Oh shit, they're actually talking about this." Like it was a Kotaku story or a Giant Bomb. I can't remember who. Somebody. It was all over the place when it first came out. We talked about it. Like wow, this is. They're acknowledging it and they're like ready to launch this thing. I think this fall, right? I don't know. I'm probably not gonna get one unless this one dies. I would imagine. I would hope so.
The S has the 4K. I thought that was Project Scorpio that has the 4K.
The S has 4K video.
Oh,
the Scorpio is 4K gaming.
Okay.
So we'll get to that.
Ooh.
But I don't know. What's your thought on it? I think it looks sexy. The new controller's cool. Has rubberized backs. Like there's some interesting R&D going into
another
what
new
Microsoft is doing.
controller.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
but
and
this
you
is-
totally like they spent like 3 or 4 minutes about you can go online and like make a controller that's like blue and red or green and purple.
It was like
and
2 minutes and it's
anything you
fucking
want.
awesome. It is
And
awesome.
it's like you can totally do it as much as you want. It was like 5 or 20 minutes. I don't know. You know, I'm just giving you shit, Joe.
I know.
I
I'm
just have
trying
to.
trying to remember that.
Yeah,
That's why I love PCs, man.
because mechanical keyboards.
'Cause-
No, because fucking you don't have to buy. I don't know.
you don't
I
have to
don't
buy
know.
anything. That's the beauty of it.
That's true, but like, it's very rare that you need a hardware update just to be able to play all the games that are coming out right now. You know?
Yeah, but the Xbox One, the One S doesn't do anything. We'll get to the Scorpio because that also will play everything the Xbox One plays just fine. So they got out ahead of it in the right way. We'll get there later. Let's move on.
Okay.
Just because the S is essentially a smaller player that's 4K video capable. That's it. Comes with a new controller. You don't have to buy it. I probably will because I like my controller, but the rubberized back is just kind of nice. If it's the same price and it's white, it looks pretty sexy. Like, yeah, I could use a second one.
But there's no Connect port in the back. You have to get an adapter.
Microsoft for the last like 3 years has been an exercise in slowly like like walking things back, like TV and football. Shit. Like, yeah, oh, you just want to play games in this thing? Okay, well, all right, we can do that. It's an unenviable
Honestly,
position.
as much as I would love to have the 40% reduction in size, again, it's like, well, I don't know if I want to spend money on it. It's not even really a huge upgrade.
I think it depends on if you have one already. If you already have a
Yeah. If you are thinking about buying an Xbox One, do not buy an Xbox One until you can get the S.
Mhm.
Like that is.
Yeah, there's no reason to go out and buy these monsters
don't-
right now unless
Yeah.
you cannot wait. Like which is like if it's your only, there's no reason.
There's
no reason.
there's no reason. There's just clearly no reason to do that.
So the first game they brought out was Gears 4. I thought it looked great. I'm still cautiously optimistic that it'll be a little scarier. It looks very pretty. There was a huge cyclone windstorm.
Gears has always been really good about graphics. It's always the prettiest game out when it comes out, and it makes me very happy.
It was a good demo too because you play as Marcus Phoenix's son, and the very last frame is you kicking in a door, and Marcus is right there, and he goes, "Welcome back, Turn." It's pretty good. Shout out to Dox, right? I could totally. It's the voice of Bender.
Yeah,
Is it John DiMaggio?
They did a good job on the demo for sure.
Yeah, it got me interested after their multiplayer beta. I heard people were pretty. I don't know if they're hot on it, but people liked what they saw. And so to see that the story looks like it's still Gears, still like a lot of cool shit happening all the time, but also maybe a little tamed down, like the God of War thing, not so brotastic. Looks kind of cool. I am more interested now.
I don't mind the brotastic.
I like it if they lean
mind
all
it.
the way into it. Just don't care. Like Blood Dragon. Just. There's a Gears Elite controller coming. No one cares. I don't care.
But they spent like 30 minutes on it. Let me tell you.
This was like a 6-hour conference. It was, they had to push Sony back. Then it was Killer Instinct. I don't care. I think the Killer Instinct is cool, though. I think the concept of Killer Instinct, a free fighting game, is pretty cool. That is a good fighting game, too.
Yeah,
I have it.
If you're fighting,
yeah.
Have we gotten to Minecraft yet, Joe?
I didn't even note Minecraft. Oh yeah, I did. I don't care
What's
about
going
Minecraft.
on with Minecraft?
So here's the thing: there is nothing like the Minecraft is opening up to all realms or something like that. They have kind of this overworld thing going on, which is cool. Except the demo was about, and I'm not over exaggerating. It was about 10 minutes too long.
Yeah, they needed to cut.
They were
Minecraft
on
and Final
stage,
Fantasy.
and it was about 10 minutes. Like they had been on stage for like 5-10 minutes, and then they were like, "Okay, well, we should go." And then they started showing more things, and it was like another 10 minutes, and you were like, "Is this like a time for us to go to the bathroom?" Because no one cares anymore.
Well, I mean, Minecraft is the biggest IP in a long time, if not ever.
Sure.
So it would make a lot of sense that they had a lot of stage time to fill.
So I think some of this could have waited to. Don't they have Minecon? Isn't that a thing?
Yeah,
I think
so.
I don't know when it is.
Why am I so unaware yet unsurprised?
There's a con for everything. I could have made it up,
Yeah.
but it wouldn't surprise anybody. Yeah, Minecraft. Like, I think they're looking at cross-platform. Like you can play. I can play on my iPad while you're playing on your Xbox and you're playing on your PlayStation. That's good. That's awesome,
That's
especially for
great.
that game. That's
Yeah.
fantastic because people don't have to buy it on Xbox 360, then Xbox One, then the PlayStation 4 version just to play with different clusters of friends at a time, and then you've got a shared world. What they're doing is
It
cool.
needs to be the future of gaming.
Oh.
100%.
Oh.
And that's fantastic, but it just kept.
Yeah,
it just went
droned.
on and on. It really literally they started with like the gear stuff, and it was going up, and then it just.
Tanked.
Yeah, they
Well,
hit a rough
the
spot.
air in the conference just kind of went, and it just cooled off. Everything cooled off.
Did they just spend 5 minutes listing different combinations? Just like, you could have one of you on Xbox and one of you on PC. Alternatively, you could have one of you on Xbox and one of you on iPad.
They were adorable in like the
Alternatively.
Minecraft fashion, though. They were just
Yeah.
so happy to be there, and
Oh
like,
yeah, no, I mean,
it
it
was
was awesome.
it was cute. But yeah, it definitely could have been shored up. That and the Final Fantasy demo, they should have had somebody backstage like, fucking, hey. Like,
Yeah, it was
yeah. Forza Horizon 3, I think looks awesome. It might be the first Forza Horizon I buy. It looks incredible.
Forza is racing, right?
Forza Motorsport is the sim. Forza Horizon is the like they're starting to
Maybe.
really bump up against Burnout. Like this is you drive a Lamborghini on a beach, and this is where they started to come into. Actually, excuse me, Gears was where they first brought up Xbox One and Windows 10 exclusive.
Oh yeah,
Then
play
they-
anywhere.
Then they go to Forza 3 and they show a dude with like if you couldn't give PC gamers like just the poor people, poor us. He's like steering wheel racing chair like I'm on PC and I'm ready to play cuz I go full on or I don't go at all. Versus an Xbox One player, and I don't know if they had two Xbox. They basically were playing at the same time, which is
Yeah,
super. It's awesome. It's the way, like Doxy, you said it best. It's the way the future of gaming should be. I should be able to play with you if I have it on Xbox One. I shouldn't have to buy another $60 copy of this fucking game,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, I
So-
get it.
Absolutely.
That
Can we-
makes them money,
can we-
but I don't like it.
Can we talk about play anywhere? Like
Yeah, we can go right
why
into it.
should I buy an Xbox now if it's play anywhere?
Because are you going to upgrade your PC? Do you already have an Xbox?
Well,
But
so
even is play anywhere.
so play anywhere is what they're calling it. So when you buy a game on Xbox, you get it on Windows 10. If you buy a game on Windows 10, you get it on Xbox.
Okay.
Cloud
So-
save as well.
Yeah, cloud. Yeah, I
Nice.
mean, like go upstairs, play it. Go downstairs, play
Fantastic.
it.
Right?
And that's fabulous. I think. I mean, for the consumer, it's great. But if I am a PC gamer with a hot rig, I mean, now the probability is that person's not going to buy an Xbox anyway.
I was gonna say, if you've already got a hot gaming PC, there's a very real possibility that unless you have your PC on the second floor and then you got a basement home theater, and you don't want to build a second gaming PC, and you don't trust the Steam Link or home streaming because it sucks, you can get one of these consoles. It's just there's
very much still a market for consoles. There's
a million variables, and I tried to make this point earlier when I was talking about a piece that was apparently inflammatory because I said good things about Microsoft, but I think that we ignore the fact that we are in the minority because we keep up on this stuff so much and we have these things, and we are like, I'm not saying us three, I'm saying the larger vocal gaming community is like, no, this is stupid. Why would you ever buy an Xbox? Meanwhile, there's 30 million people walking into a Best Buy saying, I need a new Xbox.
Yeah.
My kid said, get an Xbox. Or my kid plays with his buddies on Xbox or Windows, and I'm not going to spend $800 nor trust him with a PC that he's going to infect. I'm just going to buy an Xbox One and put it in the basement, and he can play Forza with his buddies.
Yeah. Console is so much more user friendly than PC is.
Really,
like you have to at least know what you're doing.
Yeah. I think for us, like, I wouldn't tell any of my friends that I even see on a regular basis to buy an Xbox One. I'd be like, no, just let me build you a PC. Like, spend the money. This will be good for a bunch of years. I'm going to turn my light on. Sorry, it's getting creepy dark. Better?
Like I always am.
Yeah, but that's your thing. I'm going to let you have that.
Yeah, but that's your thing. Mine is... You know,
you actually froze on
my
my side.
I have to throw up a 0 because that was a fake out.
Yeah.
Psych.
Yeah. But yeah. So I mean, I think for consumers, it's a fabulous program. There had to have been someone in Microsoft had to have crunched the numbers and said, this makes a whole lot of sense. Like, we're not really losing a whole lot.
Think about it. I think what is happening at Microsoft is that they're saying Xbox makes us a lot of money. But Xbox could also feed into the Windows ecosystem and just make Microsoft a shitload of money. If you think about the margin on a digital download, how much does it cost in, real SG&A expenses to put something up on a digital marketplace? You're making way more money on a digital expense. I know it's not like 100% margin, but I can't tell you what the bottom line would actually be, but somewhere somebody is saying we're getting the money anyway. Who cares if they buy the console? We make pennies on the dollar on a console. If they're going to buy 3 more copies of a game, we've made more money right there in pure like end of day profit than we would have on the console.
Sure. So they really pushed it for all the games.
Yeah. Like almost everything they said.
I want to say it was almost everything. I feel like there was something I recall not, but I don't remember what it was now.
A lot of the first party stuff. Gears, Forza. I'm sure the next Halo. They've already confirmed the next Halo will be on Windows, which is pretty cool. Like, that's good for Windows players.
Yeah. Day and date.
Especially for an IP that was created specifically to have video games on Mac.
Yep.
That tickles me so much sometimes.
Funny series. We saw
unless of course it's all broken like I heard Quantic Dream was when it first released on PC.
Yeah. So there's also a really good if you guys have time, check out Giant Bomb's day 2 of E3. Phil Spencer just went on and just shot the shit with Gersman from Giant Bomb, and he said we've got a lot of work to do. It was probably the best interview I've ever seen of a video game executive, period. He was very candid, said, here's the deal, we're behind, and basically was confirming a lot of things that we're talking about anyway. Like, Xbox knows they're behind. They know that Sony kicked their asses in the last 2 years. Now they have to adjust their strategy and try some new things.
Sure.
And they talked about Scorpio. Like, there's some really, really good stuff.
Quick, did you hear that?
Yeah.
What?
You just admitted that Sony kicked Microsoft's ass.
They did.
Yeah.
It's 40 million to like 20 million. Xbox stopped reporting sales numbers.
All I'm saying
not
is
even
that
close.
Joe is wearing a black and green sweatshirt. Xbot.
You found me out. My name is Joe McAllister,
Done.
Community Manager for Microsoft. All right, so we went right along in the Recore. This looked shittier than I thought, and it looked different than I thought, and I was not excited about what I
heard.
saw.
That bums me out. I was pretty excited about it last year.
They didn't show the core switching. Like, that's what I wanted to see, how that mechanic was the original thing was like you take a core from this and you put it in this.
Yeah,
Now you got a
that's
thing.
what you fucking named the game. Like,
Instead, it was like
Yeah.
a weird third-person shooter that looked a little janky, looked pretty mid-tier. I was not excited about that. I think it was
What a bummer.
It did not show well. How's that?
Yeah.
It did not show well.
Yeah.
It could be good.
If Mighty Number 9's any indication, woof. Run away. Final Fantasy 15, we touched on it. Demo went too long. It looks good. Like
Oh yeah.
it looks like, I think the point was and recently is like to get the game out there so people know it's a game and know it's coming out, because this has been
Sure.
troubled for so long. But woof.
It's gorgeous at least, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it looks fantastic.
The
if there's
problem
anything
is-
Final
is that-
Fantasy ever does is make beautiful fucking games.
The problem is that they just went and basically just took a dump on any like hype that there was for the game. They just took a giant steaming dump on it.
Yeah, I think
Anyone who is like, "Ooh, this Final Fantasy game could be interesting. I haven't played one since." I don't. Never mind. I'm gonna go do something else.
yeah.
I'll still buy it because I'm a Final Fantasy fan. But
I think a lot of people
I don't-
it'll still do fine, but
oh,
the
okay,
mass market
depending on-
appeal went down, I bet.
depending on what Square Enix has for their expectations.
God, yeah. 35 million.
Yeah, we're gonna sell. Yeah,
How
we're
did
gonna
it
sell
fail?
100 yeah, we are going to beat Infinity Warfare this year, and I'm a 1920s marker. Yes, sir. Yeah, something like that.
That was really good, actually. So, guys, let's really hype up this conference because we're going to talk about Battlefield 1, and I'm so excited. We don't have to talk about Battlefield 1, but it looks really good.
Talk about it.
No, it looks awesome. It's World War One. Yeah. it
The
looks-
lesser
So there's
famous of the two world wars, yes.
lesser famous, but like more brutal and
I'm just
like,
kidding. I'm just
Horrible.
cutting you down at the knees because I'm an asshole. Is what I'm
come to
doing.
expect
we
that.
do.
It's what I come to this show for.
Be ridiculed.
Exactly. That's all I get. I'm looking forward to it, but the problem is it comes out like it's Mafia 3, then Titanfall, then Battlefield, or I've probably flipped that order around, but they're like 3
something like
weeks,
that.
like bang, bang, bang. I'm also a little thrown off by the fact that the French army is DLC. They didn't announce this wasn't there, but like it doesn't make any damn sense.
Nope.
Yuck. That's greedy.
Yeah.
Yuck.
And like, I love America, but the fact that we are like a featured force is not right.
Not realistic.
Like
That's
that's
just
not.
gross to
Yeah,
me.
it's
That
not how you do
really
that.
bums me out.
Yeah.
We weren't even in the war until like 1917.
Yeah, we were there for like 3 months and like deuces.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
Typical-
we saved you.
Yeah, that's how
You're
America
like,
do.
Did you? Did you really save us? Well, yeah.
I think
Fireworks.
So I have a line written down. I don't remember if this was Battlefield or not, but one of the line is all the networks that allow it, which was a really nice subtle dig at Sony because Xbox and PC are Rocket League, for instance, you can play between the two. Sony and PC, I believe you can do the same thing, but you can't get that triangle going, right?
Mhm.
You can't play between all three yet. And we haven't heard Sony. That's what is part of my point with Sony too. Is like they didn't talk about any of this. This is a big deal. It's in the news quite a bit. People want it, but Sony can't figure out how to change your fucking name, let alone how to let you play with your buddies on Xbox, which would solve a lot of problems for a lot of people. Like I would rather buy Battlefield on PC and be able to play with shooters are a different story, I guess. But anyway, going on too long.
I don't know. I mean, we're back to what was maybe they have some kind of strategy for it, but they didn't talk about the Neo. They didn't talk about that. I think that they just said we're only going to talk about games and we'll talk about the other stuff somewhere else.
They have the
Maybe
PlayStation
Game-
Experience, so maybe that'll
Yeah.
be. I hope
or
it is.
Gamescom,
Yeah.
or
Tokyo
there's
Game
other
Show.
there's other opportunities to do it. I mean, TGS, if they really, I don't even know if they even go to TGS anymore. Does anyone go to TGS anymore?
Meh.
Anyway,
Sony would
that's
because
not-
Japan's huge for them. Microsoft is probably like, sorry.
I just meant that they have other opportunities
Yeah.
to talk about it. If they said, okay, our strategy this year is we're just going to show games.
Yeah. So Cortana's coming. The new Xbox One experience. Background music is about damn time. Like, that's been on Sony for a while, or at least with Spotify. I like listening to Spotify while playing games that don't require a whole lot. There's clubs, which are like communities on PSN. They're making some changes that needed to happen, like for the community part. But looking for group is a good addition to the platform. Really, Brian?
Yeah, I don't care. I don't really. When I play multiplayer, I try to play with friends or my family, and that's about it. I hate pubs. They're annoying. I don't like them.
Well, that's the point in looking.
I feel like.
Go ahead, Dox.
I think it's a great idea. There have been millions of times, and I would be surprised if that was actually a fucking exaggeration where I've been the only one that wanted to play a video game out of me and all my friends. And, I couldn't find anybody to play this game that I really liked, or that, everybody was in bed and I felt like playing a game that we all play together all the time, or whatever. And I think that looking for group is a great way to make friends.
Especially with games like Destiny, Division, Overwatch. You can get a group of 6 going, and the thing I liked about the video is it showcased that you can tag things like must have chat, no chat. If you don't want to talk to people but still want to work together or just get into a game with somebody of a similar level, it wasn't very full featured. And I can see how, Brian, you might not use it at all, but I could see how if I was in the Division, I was like, I want to try this incursion or Destiny raid with some people that have done it before, or I want to figure it out with a couple strangers. I can LFG and it sends out, people can search for that. I like that it's part of the platform as opposed to having to go to a third-party website and then being like, okay, send me your gamer tag. I have no idea who you are.
Yeah, that's a good point. I just probably won't. I probably never use it, not once.
Well, you're all that matters.
That's fair. A lot of people will, though. A lot of people will, and I think that this has the potential for really great parental controls and stuff like that, which is a thing that is desperately needed on Xbox because you have little kids being bullied and shit just for being little kids when they're trying to play video games, and I think it's great. I think that the promise of this kind of thing is very exciting.
I think for me, it really boiled down to my personal situation is I don't have time to play a lot of games, so when I do, very rarely does anybody else have that same exact time to jump into a game, especially with zero heads up, oh, you're getting dinner? Fuck it, go home. Let's play some Overwatch right now. I can do an LFG and might be able to find a good group of people to run with. I think that they also need to really make sure that they focus on player ratings. If I can rate somebody following a game or an interaction, and then that actually carries through to mean something for that player. if they're shitty, I want to make sure they know that they're shitty. Not that person.
They took that out of Overwatch.
Except for that any time that there's a woman who shoots them, they're going to rate that person low or what, I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of shittiness in there too, because the Xbox community is so good.
Well, online gaming community in general. I mean, I think that there's, and I don't mean by ability. I mean this guy was just shouting racist shit the whole time.
Yeah.
1 out of 5 report. Make sure that I know. I don't have to know what happens to that person, but I want to know something is happening that is I don't want that. I just want to I want to find other like-minded people that are in to have a good time, play the game, find some cool shit.
You know what? I will say that if it could help me find better players to play with in Overwatch, then I would be I may be okay with that, because if I have one more time where I'm walking up with my big-ass shield and the fucking squishy people run right past me towards the point, and I'm like, you stupid fuckers! There's a goddamn shield!
Tracer, no! Tracer, bad Tracer!
Oh my god.
Tracer and Genji are supposed to do that stuff.
Tracer's good enough.
It's a big giant goddamn shield. Stay behind it.
But that's a good point, Brian, because I think that a good tag, for instance, would be objective-based, right? Yeah. So if I say I'm objective-based... Yeah, play the game the way the game's supposed to be played. If I put that I want to play the objective, especially in Battlefield, if I want to squad up with 5 people, those are the best times I have in Battlefield. Getting in a helicopter with 4 or 5 people, dropping down, doing cool shit, that's where I think this has a lot of potential. There's also, just like anything at this conference, I guess, we could really come back and say they could also eat it pretty bad. They've done beacons on Xbox 360, and people would be like, I want to watch Netflix. I don't care. Stop. Customized controllers was next. I did check this out on the website. It's $80, so I probably won't order one, but they do look cool. Like, I think the option to do so is a neat for the people that have that disposable income or just want to show off and have the
Sure.
this is my player one controller. You get that one. Like, that's cool.
Now, mind you, they spent 30 minutes showing it, but
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Conference started on Monday. It just
It's still
ended
going.
30 minutes ago. Next we went into, there was a really weird segue. It was just like custom controllers, and then bam, from the guys that made it, Limbo, it's Inside. Don't know what it is. Comes out later this month.
But it looks cool.
Comes out in 6
I'm in.
days. Yeah, I'm still interested.
I'm in for it.
It's very moody.
It looks awesome.
Yeah. This part really got me because I didn't see this with Sony. I might have just missed it, but there was a huge ID at Xbox.
Yeah, they
Section?
did. Sony did not have that. No.
Yeah,
They
which
used
was-
it for VR.
But it was weird because Sony was big on building the list and getting games from PC on PS4 and getting a lot of this early access. I haven't heard anything about DayZ. That's still coming. Like, there's their game preview program. Like, there's
Fucking
still some
cool.
things that are, I'm like, as I'm going back, like, oh, they're still missing some things. That's weird. But below, Slime Rancher, Cuphead, Outlast 2, Deliver Us the Moon, First Hook, Far, Shadow, blah, 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 blah. Stardew Valley, Hand of Fate 2, Bloodstained, Ukulele, basically all
And
of
the
this
Fate
stuff.
2. Hells yeah, dude. Let me
They
just
show
say.
a lot of really exciting stuff in a very quick cut vignette.
Mhm.
I thought it was awesome.
Yo, can I just tangent for 1 second here?
Doy.
Okay.
Yes.
One of the
It's your
first
show.
computer games I ever played was the Legend of Kyrandia series. And the second game in that series is called Hand of Fate. So when I first heard of Hand of Fate, I was so psyched. I was like, oh, point and click adventure,
It's
done
back.
right. I'm so excited. But
Nice.
no, yeah.
It still is a very good game.
Yeah, no, I 100% am behind Hand of Fate. I just wish they would have named it. That was a really heartbreaking moment for me. All I'm saying.
Saying.
The game preview program is getting expanded a little bit. So basically, Xbox Early Access. Arc is coming. The Culling, Everspace, DayZ. What?
How is Ark ever going to run on a console if they can't even get it to run on PC?
They can't get it to run on the Xbox right now. It's really bad. But the concept is nice. The big one was We Happy Few. They showed an awesome demo of We Happy Few.
Yeah.
In fucking
That looks
incredible.
awesome.
But
Happy Few is pretty dope.
But it also, I don't think, was indicative of what the actual gameplay was, because it was like the opening. It was very Bioshocky, and then from what I've heard, I haven't been able to play it outside of that, but it's a little bit more procedural and survival-based, and, which was not the demo that they showed. But still really cool looking. Really creepy.
But they gave the ambiance of the game, and I think that will sell it.
I love that look and feel. Oof.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
We Happy Few is fucking dope. I've been following that game since it showed at PAX for the first time. And actually, it was really cool. I was playing at the booth, and I ran through a whole group of people and survived for a really long time. And everybody around the booth around me, watching, was gasping and ohing and awing. And I felt like such a fucking rock star. I was like, yeah, Zero Doxy on YouTube, business card.
Just poof. Throw 'em out.
Notice I'm still not dying. I'm still not dying, and I'm handing it out.
Yeah. Oh, give me just a second. Got to pipe wrench this guy in the head and business card.
Business.
But yeah, We Happy Few was fucking dope.
I'm very excited for that one. I think some of the team was from Bioshock or from Irrational. But anyway.
Oh, it had to
would
be.
make sense.
Look at that. Look
It's-
at that game.
Yeah.
Look at it.
It would make sense.
But next we got Gwent.
I'm so hype.
So many card games. There's an Elder Scrolls card game. too.
TCGs is my jam. Okay, Magic the Gathering for life with a Y. I fucking love TCG, and fucking Gwent is phenomenal.
It's pretty
Like,
cool.
What a weird thing that was this little afterthought that was added to a game. Or, well, I mean, obviously it was lovingly created. I didn't mean
Right.
but it wasn't the core game, and now
Yeah.
it gets to be its own game, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
And apparently each storyline is going to be some ridiculous amount of hours.
Oh,
Single player storylines. They're supposed to be 20 hours a piece or something stupid.
True Witcher fashion.
Yeah.
It's I'm like, what could you I don't know, but I want to find out now.
I love the
How could you
presentation
have a
too.
storyline that
The
does
dude
this?
comes out, and first of all, the dude is just jacked. Like thinking of where that studio came from, like 5-10 years ago. There's been some interesting Reddit posts that are like CD Projekt Red's first E3 booth, and it's literally like one chair and a TV and a shitty computer and the Witcher screen. And now they're obviously this huge power. But the guy comes out jacked up about this card game, and then is like, one thing really surprised us about The Witcher is a lot of you wanted to play a card game. Like, you played a lot of this card game. So I'm excited. I really liked Gwent. I didn't spend as much. I was reviewing The Witcher, so I played Gwent a handful of times. I've gone back through now and have a pretty sick deck, if I say so myself. But it's good news. Like, I like these feel-good stories of, like, the fans are asking for it, and they're making it, and they're not half-assing it.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it.
Did either of you get any vibes off Tekken 7, or is anybody hyped for Tekken 7? Like, of all fighting games, that's the one for me. Street Fighter.
Soul Calibur.
Shit. Yeah, but we're not getting that.
Soul Calibur. Yeah.
You shut your face hole.
I would get hyped
When's
for
that coming?
new Soul Calibur.
Yeah.
This one,
When's that coming?
the demo that they showed was pretty insane because this single-player story has, like, some QTEs and, crazy focus shifts, and I'm excited about it. Probably won't be day one, but I'll see how it goes. Dead Rising 4. Anyone?
Hype.
It looks.
I didn't even know that was a thing that was happening.
Looks bonkers. It's coming out this holiday. It is taking place in Willamette, Colorado, with what looks like Frank West. So it's like, it looks crazy. Like they're leaning very hard into the do whatever you want. Vehicles are in it. There's a exosuit. It's awesome.
Is it still silly and ridiculous? Is all I care.
Oh yeah.
That exosuit looked pretty awesome.
Yeah. It is not. With 3, I was concerned that because they were going very brown with it, they were going to be very serious, and they didn't. And this looks like it's the same, like more of an expanded upon 3, which is fine for Dead Rising. I don't expect them to reinvent the wheel, and I don't want them to. It's a good franchise.
Yeah, we don't want them to God of War that shit.
I was just gonna say.
Does anybody care about Scalebound?
What is
I
it?
I actually do. I think having multiple dragons on the screen, playing co-op where I have a dragon and Doxy has a dragon and you have a dragon.
Customizable dragons.
Like
That's a bullet point I
okay.
can get on board with.
I mean, if I can just get past the douchey headphone thing, I mean, once I get past that, I'll be fine.
Yeah, I do want to keep my eyes on this one. Platinum is working on far too many games, and the dude talks way too fucking much. Not the Platinum guy. The guy in the demo was like, yeah, now I gotta hit him in the eyes. Here we go. Yeah. Shut up.
Hey, you know what? There's a blinky thing. That's probably his weak spot. Yeah. I know. I've been playing video games forever.
I've played 1 or 2 of these things.
Bro, I beat Mario when I was 2. Move over.
And he does. That's exactly how he talks. Yay! All right, let's do this.
Yeah,
and you're like, okay.
Pretty wacky.
Could you just turn it down a skosh?
Yeah. You're at a 10. I need you to nothing. I need you at 0.
Time for crazy conference.
Sea of Thieves. Quigs, I'm interested to hear what you thought. The demo wasn't very good.
So
I didn't like that.
But, okay, so
screen time.
That sucks because I was into that.
No.
Just wait.
No.
This game looks
So, okay.
fucking rich.
So when we saw it last year, I was kind of like, I don't know. And then they showed this thing where they brought people in and like they were matched up and they had like their faces like pictured in the corner and like they were like Let's Plays, and it was kind of like, I don't know. But then I actually saw real gameplay of it and it looks phenomenal. Like it's just
it looks
like
like
my faith a little.
So what I've kind of heard is, and take this for what it's worth, depending on if you like the game or not, but it's kind of like a Destiny pirate game with your buddies. There was a instance that I heard on the way home on a podcast where the guys from Funhouse, I think it was, were playing, and they came up on another like player ship, and there were 4 or 5 people on that, and the other ship didn't even fire, just ran right at them and sailed on top of them and sunk that ship, sunk the ship the Funhouse guys were on. They had to like swim to the land and go like try and figure out what they were going to do next. Like, it sounds like
pirates.
Right?
Yeah.
It sounds like just the craziest things can happen, and the fact that I believe Rare is making this, right?
Yeah, Rare.
This could be a really cool opportunity for them to be like, we are still, we're not the
In
same
the
Rare,
game.
but we are. This is Rare 2016 making a game that is awesome.
Yeah, that is not on
I'm
Connect.
Yeah,
so excited now. Yay.
yeah. I came out of that like very tentatively, like, oh god.
But
going
then I
into it.
started hearing the experiences coming out of the show floor were, yeah, you need to play this game.
Yeah, I heard another story on Polygon that was Griffin McElroy saying that they were talking about like how do we come about and take on this other ship, and one player was like, "Can we just drop the anchor?" And the dev like just nodded, so they dropped their anchor and just whip shit a hard right and fire, and this other ship didn't know what to do because it was like, oh god, they shouldn't have been able to do that. And it sounds like just bonkers fun, and I can't wait to see more of that game. That would be a good one for looking for group. Just saying, Brian.
Why? Because I would totally just use my crew to do it.
Oh god.
Wait, hold on. Let me do another eye roll for emphasis.
State of Decay 2, I don't know if either of you are excited about it. I loved the first State of Decay and how ambitious it was.
I have no idea what State of Decay even is.
It's a zombie game, but it's like
How
a
do I
zombie.
not know what it is?
It's like a zombie base building game. It's really good.
It's actually pretty good.
Yeah. So this one is multiplayer. The first time around they wanted to make it multiplayer. This time they were like,
we're going to make this happen.
Yeah. So it looks good. It wasn't any gameplay. It was just a reveal. So.
Yeah. And I mean it'll be on PC, so I'll probably just pick it up on PC.
That's where I'll go to.
Mama loves her some zombies. All I'm saying.
You ever call them zombies like from the Pee Wee show? Zombie? Hey, zombie. Halo Wars 2. So this, I am not interested in this game, but the cinematic was pretty cool.
I can't waste any more energy caring about Halo ever again.
Yeah, we can move right along.
Hard pass. Go ahead.
Yep, the people that love Halo Wars love Halo Wars, though.
Yeah, all 15 of them love Halo Wars. They're still LFGing for that 16th person, but that's it.
All right, so here's the big thing is they addressed the Xbox One Scorpio rumors, which was a big pre-E3 thing, and again, this took me by surprise, like them saying this is a thing. They put together a video with like Todd Howard and a couple of other devs and publishers saying like what we want is something that can perform well. Here's the facts. I don't want to get into my thoughts just yet, but 6 teraflops was used a number of times. Teraflops. There you go, Brad. Teraflops, the 6 is a pretty big number. Neo was rumored to hit 4. I think they currently are both hitting 1.2 and 1.7 for the PS4 or something like that. So this is a big upgrade in one metric, but that metric isn't necessarily indicative of overall performance, just to keep in mind. But the line that Phil used, for instance, was highest res, best frame rate, true 4K gaming, VR support, which was a big bullet point, especially since Microsoft doesn't have a headset of its own. But just for a point of reference, the Titan X has 7 teraflops, but the 1070 can beat it and has less teraflops. So using teraflops is kind of like just clock speed or just using how many GDDR5s you have. It's not necessarily a true indicative of performance. It's a decent pointer, but still, personally, just to get my thoughts out of the way, I thought it was a really good way to handle it. Like, it was very smart to get out ahead of it and say, this is coming. Everything is going to work. So do not worry. You can play a game on your Xbox One S, your current Xbox today, and your Xbox One Scorpio, Project Scorpio. I hope they change the name. It's not good.
Wow. Hey, I am a Scorpio, and I take offense to that.
I have nothing against Scorpios. I have something against calling your system. And for that matter, I don't like the Sony, the PlayStation, the Morpheus, and the Neo.
Yeah.
I could go on a tear.
Aw, gross.
Yeah, I could go on a tear about the Trinity. What was Agent Smith?
That's disgusting.
It's gonna get weird fast. Anyway, I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say because I will refute all your points, Brian.
Because I will refute all your points, Brian. So here's my thing. I think once again we're definitely moving into the cell phone age of video games. There really won't be any true demarcations of generations anymore, unless it's sometime in the very far future. It will continue to be this every 3 years. Here's a new iteration, which is powerful, can still play the games that you already have, but it's more powerful and you're going to get more out of it. So that I think that is, I think that's what's going to happen. Now, me personally, when I think about whether I'm going to buy a Project Scorpio or a PlayStation Neo, I'm thinking that maybe I'm just going to buy a 1070 or a 1080 and just put it in my computer and say, yep, just going to upgrade my computer from now on. And hopefully, maybe figure out how to play the exclusives at a later date. But for me, it just, right now I have too many other things in my basket to worry about every 3 years spending $400 on a new console. Especially with my family growing and, my wife getting a new job and, how our life is changing. I'm just not sure that penciling in, $800, $400 for a Microsoft console and $400 for a Sony console every 3 years is a smart investment decision for me. So
welcome to the master race, brother.
Well, I mean, I've always had a PC that played games. It's just I've been picking up consoles because I like having a console on my big TV downstairs, and there's nothing wrong with my lean forward games that I really enjoy on my PC. But sometimes I just want to lay on my couch and be like, click, click, click. All right,
Definitely.
I'm good. Yeah. So that's it. I don't actually have anything. I don't have anything bad to say about the Scorpio versus the Neo or anything like that. It's just, I think this is the part where the consoles are going to go in this direction, and I'm going to start maybe going this direction.
Ooh, excuse me. I'm sorry.
That's all. So refute all my points, Joe.
No, you actually made great points, Brian.
Okay.
I think sometimes, though, we also get caught up on, because it comes out every 3 years, I got to buy the new one. And I think as time goes on, we'll probably all realize, oh, fuck it. I don't need a 1070 right now. My 770 does okay. Do I want a 1070? Yeah. Do I want to spend $380? Yeah. Do I want to spend $400 on, or, depending on if I want it right now, I could spend $1,000 on a 1070. But to me, things run okay. They run fine. Since I have a PS4 and an Xbox One, I probably won't get either, especially immediately. I mean, next year, I have a feeling I'll still be able to play all the PlayStation games, play all the Xbox games. I have missed, for instance, I have toyed with the idea of a Wii U just to play the Nintendo exclusives, but I went all of last generation without a PS3. I've gone this entire generation without a Wii U. Part of me is, for how many games I do play, which is a shitload, I'm kind of okay with missing some of these. I can hear from other people. If I hear you had a great time with it, awesome. Good for you. I'm glad. I have plenty of other games to keep me super busy.
Yeah.
Docs, you gonna upgrade?
Yeah.
Every day. All day.
No. I'm not. I'm just not.
Okay.
I'm waiting for either next gen or VR to tell me that I have to upgrade.
Yeah. I think we're at an super interesting point. Probably the most exciting point, because we don't know what's going to happen, right? But at the same time, Microsoft also phrased this as beyond generations, and kudos to the marketing department, because that is fantastic, and it's a very good way of thinking of things. There was a lot of initial pushback, I'm not going to buy a Scorpio because or I'm not going to keep up with consoles, or I'm never going to buy one ever again because in a certain time I can't play these games. Well, yeah, you're also not playing your PC games on a Voodoo card from '94. There is a point where it breaks off, and they need to distance themselves from the phones, because phones are an every 2-3 year thing. And I know that's what they want you to do, but I also don't pay $600 for my phone, right? I typically pay less or pay monthly, which will probably gross. We'll probably see that as well. I wouldn't be surprised, though. Microsoft has tried it. I remember when I worked at Best Buy, they did a program where you pay $100 and then you pay X amount per month for X amount of months. Not a bad idea. It also wasn't communicated well, blah, 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 blah. But I think we're actually on the same page. I am surprised that we are. What is more...
Consoles just need to be modular already. They just need to be. Where you can fucking swap out hardware.
Yeah.
A piece at a time. It needs to happen.
I think there still needs to be that line, like delineation between like my Xbox and my PlayStation, because I have everything in this room. If I could move these out to the living room or in the basement and then stream to my PC, which I can do now, I just don't. But if I could do it with both easily, flawlessly, no latency, zero, very low latency, I would probably do it, and then I wouldn't really be as concerned about like, well, I'm never going to buy anything for the consoles ever again or swear them off or only buy for exclusives, because it's like, they've been good to me. They've done a good job. I really need more storage, but it's a different story. But to me, the interesting thing about this announcement is like, what does Sony... the ball is squarely in Sony's court, and if they don't say anything about the Neo, they're going to look like they're just resting on their laurels. Like they're just sitting back and like, well, we got a shitload of units out there. We're going to put some games out, and we're fine. Everything's fine. And then I think of that picture of the dog with everything on fire around him saying, this is fine.
Yeah.
Because you've got Sony in a PlayStation 3 set, like, sitting there, like, oh, everything is not just fine. Like, if Microsoft can even make up a little bit of a difference or find themselves as a complementary console to a PC in a lot of homes, they've got an angle that Sony just can't really take because they're not embracing PC or even mentioning PC, really.
PS4 remote play on my PC works flawlessly.
Yeah, I need to run it on my Windows 10 machine, but that's, again, my stuff's all here, so my situation's a little different, but I still, they didn't even mention that. Like, they didn't even say, oh, and by the way, you can already play your games on your PC via our remote play. Even if it's rehashing an old feature they introduced a little while ago. That's the thing I think I was missing, is that, like, I think of E3 as a state of the union for these consoles. Like, the address that's like, here's where we're at, here's the games that are coming this year, but here's what we've done in the last year, here's what we're working on now for the network, and go have a good show. But I didn't...
Yeah, but they really like you said right at the beginning, they limited everybody off the stage. Like, they didn't have people on the stage.
Yeah.
They did have a pretty sweet orchestra, though.
Yeah, that was cool. They did a lot of really good things. Like, I'm not trying to bash Sony, or I don't think...
Aren't you, though?
No, I didn't say that Sony sucked nuts and I'm going to sell my PlayStation and they're going under next week. Like, that's what is cracking me up about the article that I wrote about this earlier. I kind of said a lot of the same things, and people are calling me an Xbox fanboy, saying I'm bashing the PlayStation. I never said anything bad about the PlayStation. I am simply saying that I think that Microsoft had a much better show. I think that Microsoft showed me confidence in their console and their platform, where Sony showed me games, which does give me a bit of confidence, but it's also just the games. Like, I tend to be a little bit more forward thinking. Like, what are they doing next? What are they working on? Whenever I look up a game that I'm excited for that's coming out, I like to see the changelog. I like to see what's going on. What are they doing? How are they going to support this? Yeah. How are they going to support this post-launch? And Microsoft's taking a similar approach, whereas Sony is saying, no, you're good on your current PS4, and the PlayStation Network's fine. Don't worry about that. Here's Days Gone. Which is, I get their angle. They're two very different approaches. One I agree with, but I think that could have been handled much better, or added a few things. Like, an hour and 15 is lean. An hour and 30. Yeah. Give it 5 minutes. Granted, very thankful they didn't talk about powers.
Yeah. Oh, God. Then again, they didn't have a 20-minute Minecraft demo.
It's true. Or a 20-minute Final Fantasy demo. Microsoft. Minecon. Just save it for Minecon. People that want Minecraft news will go to Minecon.
Bro, no, it's like the biggest IP in gaming history. Maybe not in gaming history, but in recent gaming history for sure.
And they brought up they bring up good big news for that series for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a strange compliment to the rest of the show, in that it drove a lot of the energy down.
Right. I almost feel like it should have its own mini conference, Minecraft, at this point,
or just even a stream.
Yeah,
I think it would be fine on the Xbox channel on Twitch or at Microsoft.com, being like, hey, thanks for tuning in. Here's all the stuff on Microsoft or on Minecraft. Still being on the floor, still being at E3 and present, but the people that want to find that stuff, I think, will find it. But they can do a lot in 3 minutes of like, Minecraft is getting cross-platform support. Cool.
Yeah.
Later. Bye.
Yeah. You can be playing on this and this and this. If you want to see more, and I know you do, watch our live stream tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific time, where we're going to go over every detail that you're going to care about.
Yeah.
And then that's going to be just all people that are really, really excited to hear that kind of thing. Yeah.
For sure. Well, do we want to call it a show, or do we want to talk about
I-
what we've been playing? Because I have not been playing anything. Well, I have, but
I
don't
have
know.
2 games to talk about, but they can wait till next week because I'm going to be playing the ever living fucking shit out of them. So
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, let's hold off.
I tore myself away from Overwatch for a little bit. Are you guys proud of me?
Oh my god, cold turkey just like that?
I played some
No,
Overwatch.
No, I still have played
weaning.
hours and hours
You're
and hours
weaning.
of it. But I'm not even trying to wean. I want to play Overwatch every day for the rest of my fucking life.
That's good. Okay, well, game of the show. Go now, Doxy. What are you most excited about coming out of E3? I know you didn't watch the show, but what in the breadth of what we talked about, what got you excited the most, you think?
Oh, geez, Louise. I don't know.
Well, I should have thought about this.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Before I asked you on the
Thieves
spot.
and Horizon Zero Dawn are my 2 big dudes, I guess.
That would have been Horizon Zero Dawn.
I think Horizon Zero Dawn's mine as well. I would like to say Gwent. No. I'm going back through what it is, but
Gwent
yeah.
does get an honorable mention.
I mean, I'm excited for Battlefield, but it's because I love Battlefield. But I'm not as excited as I am to see something new with Horizon.
New IPs are very exciting.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right.
My
Well,
favorite thing was Design Lab from Microsoft. You know, the build your own controller.
I'm going to make you a controller and ship you one, Brian. It's going to be engraved, and I'm not going to tell you with what until it gets there. I did.
It's
I
gonna have
did.
middle fingers and dicks all over
I
it.
was gonna say my face with dicks all over it.
I did create a $350 controller prototype. I didn't order it, but it was Guy Fieri themed with middle fingers and dicks on it. It was pretty good. Anyway, Doxy, where can we find you?
You can find me at youtube.com/ZR0DOXY, twitch.tv/ZR0DOXY, and twitter.com/ZERODOXY because I am terrible at branding.
All right, Quiglin.
Yes, you can find me on the Twitter machine as Quiglin. That's QUIGLIN.
All right, and for this show, I'm going to edit Brian's face and just put Kaz's face, maybe Shuhei. I am Joe McAllister. You can find me at twitter.com/Joe_McAllister. That's McCallister. For the HomeRow podcast, until next time, thanks for stopping by.
You guys.
Bye.